George Kittle's T-shirt, the one where he wrote "Feels Great, Baby" in quotation marks, as said by number 10, a.k.a. Jimmy Garoppolo. Dad, why don't you take it away?
Yeah. Iggy and I both reacted critically. We were critical of Kittle doing that. And I'm going to talk about what happened to me. In fact, if you don't mind, Iggy, I'll take the lead on this. On Twitter, I got two kinds of responses. One was essentially, you're a scumbag, your son is a scumbag, and you should die.
Right.
I never take any of that seriously because it's not part of an argument. It's just name calling. So what I do is with people like that, especially when they invoke my son in a negative way, because I love my son, blockage. And I love the Blockage Act. But there were a high proportion of people who are regulars on my Twitter feed who are very reasonable people and nice people. And I got basically two responses from them. Lowell, I disagree with you and here's why. Or Lowell, would you reconsider this? Now, when reasonable people ask you in a reasonable way to reconsider something, especially if you're in a public domain like journalism, it's the professional thing to do to take them seriously. So I've been thinking about it for several days, and so is Iggy, and we've been talking about it. And I would like to do this exercise with Iggy. You may not know, but a lot of you may know, all the years that I was a columnist, I also taught at University of San Francisco. I taught creative writing to graduate students, to master's students. And Iggy would come once a year to my class, starting when he was 6 years old. So he saw us do this. Sometimes someone would argue a position, and I would say, okay, argue the opposite point of view. It's so important to help you be a fair, reasonable thinker. So I think it's incumbent upon Iggy and me to argue the opposite point of view from what we had the last few days about the T-shirt. And one other thing, and this I want to say and not Iggy. The context was when Trey Lance got hurt and Jimmy came back, some of the veterans, and I believe Kittle, in the locker room seemed almost gleeful. Not that Trey got hurt, but that the other guy, Jimmy, was back. And I thought they should have tamped it down. It was in bad taste. And that influenced the way I saw the T-shirt. But now I want to play this exercise, perform this exercise. Iggy, why don't you go first and say something in defense of Kittle?
Well, there was a specific context to the shirt. They were about to clinch in Seattle, the division, for the first time since 2019 when they clinched the division in Seattle. That day in 2019, Kittle wore a shirt that said "Feels Great, Baby," as said by dash Jimmy Garoppolo. So it was hearkening back to that day, same occasion, same place, and an homage to a fallen teammate.
Yeah, and when I think about it, and I was rational about it, the context mattered a lot. And when I'm going to go on a little further with what you said to an homage to a fallen teammate. Jimmy deserves all the praise he can get. He stepped in a horrible situation, and he was on a winning streak, and he's the quarterback who really has kept this team alive. Now, it's possible that the kid will be better or not. We don't know. But the kid so far has done really well. And I think not only is it okay, but it's admirable to say, let's not forget the guy who got us here. Jimmy Garoppolo is a fine player and a fine man, and this is important for Lowell to remember.
And he kept the team alive. I like that.
Yes, and this is important for Lowell to remember. By praising Jimmy, he wasn't putting down Brock Purdy.
Right.
Praising is praising. He didn't say Brock Purdy is undeserving or is no good. And I think, I can't speak for Iggy, but I was reacting to to what happened with Trey Lance, and I was wrong. I was wrong about that. So as far as I'm concerned, George, my apologies to you. I take it back. I'm glad that reasonable people asked me to rethink it, and I did, and it was a pleasure to change my mind.
Also, George didn't praise Jimmy. He merely invoked Jimmy.
Good point.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that.
So
we did that.